All right, Coach, your first head coaching job. You've been with the team for about 3 months now, but didn't get a chance to really see him and work with him in the fall, but had that chance to plan and develop stuff for the spring and get to work with him. Just talk about the transition from being an assistant coach to now a head coaching role.
The transitions, it was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I coached under a really good head coach in Nebraska, and she really helped me kind of prepare, and she gave me all the tools that I needed to over the last 3 years to be a head coach. And I got here, and I was eager to start, and obviously I got here and we didn't have a fall or anything, so just meeting the team and settling in, and you realize that there's a lot more work than just X's and O's.
Talk about that transition, getting to see the team. What have you seen from when you've gotten here and worked with them, and what you knew from before to now going into the season, the adjustments that you've seen, things you like, and where you want to push the team?
Right. So when I came in, it was really different because I came from a very structured program. So I came here, and they didn't have a certain way of doing things. So that's kind of what our main goal has been all the last. They've been working now they're on their third week, and so their main goal has just been developing what we're about and creating a system. So that's all we've been working out, and seeing those adjustments from day one to the end of week 3, and seeing that, wow, these kids, they're good kids, and we have a lot of good talent, and just kind of figuring out where we're going to put kids where.
Coach, you mentioned talking about the team. Obviously, you've got a good group of returners, some key players that have done very well over the last couple of years for the team. But you've also got a healthy freshman class. I think it was 9 initially. Mm-hmm. Several of those players who we've seen step in and take some roles. Just talk about the mix of that and who you're going to lean on early on this year.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have some returners that we're going to have to look to in critical situations, pitching-wise for sure. Some stepping up in there, but we have a young class. Our freshmen are very raw and they're very good, and our infield is very young. So, our catcher's a freshman, we have a shortstop freshman, we have a corner's freshman. So, in the circle is really the returner, and the upperclassmen. So making sure that they're all on the same base, looking for her to lead her, but also our freshmen have to step up, and they know that. We've talked about it, point blank, they have to come in and they have to be ready, and we've really talked about buying into that system, and they've just really worked really hard to be a freshman but also be kind of a leader in their own spot.
I know schedule-wise this year, it takes a while for us to get into conference play. You got a lot of non-conference games. Trevecca is the start. Obviously, they're pick number 1. Mm-hmm. A very tight battle with us down to 4. But with them picked up, maybe the early favorites, do you like having them early on? And then how do you look at, and what do you do with the non-conference before then getting set for that conference season?
Right, that's good. That's a good question. I think that the non-conference games are going to be really good for us because, I didn't get a fall, so I didn't get to put kids in places and implement a system how I would like to. So it's nice that the fall is kind of set up the way, or the spring, is set up the way that it is right now in preseason. It allows me to put a lot of different kids, especially when they're young, a lot of different kids at a lot of different places. And so talking about Trevecca, they're the favorite, yeah, but they're just another team. And so what we've talked about all year is, we're opening with them, but it's going to be a true test of who we are. And it'll kind of, I'm not going to say it's going to make our way for conference, but it'll kind of test us early. So I think it's a good thing we put them early, but we're just playing another team. That's kind of what we're looking at. Like, it's Trevecca, however, we're still playing senator softball. We worry about us.
But what kind of goals do you want? I mean, we know every coach wants to go out and win as much as you can, and attain as much as you can in the standings. But what kind of goals individually you want to look at? What kind of goals do you want for this team do you set forth?
Right. Individually, I just need my underclassmen to step up, really, and our upperclassmen to just stay in that leadership role. As a whole, I just want progression. I want them to get better. I want them to be better than last year, but I really want our system to be exposed, and I want our full talent to be brought out of everybody. I want to make sure that our system works. We've talked about how it's going to be a process. We know it's going to be a process. You don't win overnight. However, we do have that goal in mind of winning a conference championship. I mean, you have to have that expectation, but we build from the base of the pyramid, and that's where we're still at. So we take it day by day. We're not worried about winning a conference championship, but it's always in the forefront of our brain.
Allie, coming into your junior season with the team, it's a little different this year. Obviously, with Coach Olson in, Coach Stiles leaving. Just talk about the transition, the change, and what you've seen so far, and how the team's getting adjusted to it.
When we heard Coach Styles was leaving, it was really difficult for a lot of us. We didn't know what was going to happen. And then with the 2-month waiting period, we kind of a little iffy. But then when Coach came in, and with it now, it's fabulous. We're getting back into structure, back on top of things, and everybody's working together as a team. And I think it's really helped us as a team become more cohesive together.
Yeah. When you have a coaching change, there's always changes in philosophy, changes in things. What things have you seen as a team responding to from Coach that you've seen different this year going into the preseason?
Going into the preseason, I've seen a lot of us have stepped up, and we're working a lot harder than we were before. Definitely more of 100% from everybody, and everybody's working together to better one another instead of trying to tear each other down. So I think that's helping us, and our structure is getting stronger.
I know coming into this year, coming off maybe what would be considered a disappointing end of last year, going to an out-of-conference tournament, but still a very good conference season, a good year overall. What are the goals? What's the transition shift like for this year? What are y'all looking at to go into this year?
This year we're looking at, we want to get back to the tournament, and we are going to go farther than 2 games this year. And I think we want to go to the championship game this year. That's our plan, and that's what we're working towards. And I feel we can do it this year, would be the year, even with a new coach.
Yeah. I know with the team picked 4th, is that where you would see yourself preseason? Do you even look at those things? Does it matter to y'all as a team?
As a team, it doesn't really matter. I know we look at it individually, but we always want to prove ourselves better than what they think we can do. So it just pushes us harder to get to the top and be number 1.
I know the schedule this year, Trevecca is the first conference game. Obviously, you have the non-conference before that, so you have time to prep going into it. But what's it like knowing you're starting off with Trevecca, one of the preseason favorites, obviously with their history, and then with us short-term playing them?
I know in the past it used to get a lot of us a little shaky, but I think this year we're all ready and excited to play Trevecca as number 1. We want to start off strong and play some of the biggest competition first to better ourselves for later, and so we know what's coming later in the season.
I know you've had a really strong sophomore season. Where do you want to see yourself pitching goals-wise? Maybe with the transition with Coach coming in, things working different. Is there something you would like to push, a goal that you're trying to attain this year?
A pitching goal I'm trying to obtain this year would be a lower pitch count and pitching more for my defense than for myself, and hopefully getting more outs and quicker, in and out of innings quicker than we did in the past.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.